All right, here's an example of the half-life formula. I just finished posting a few different videos about doubling. Now my form is slightly different than the one in the book, and you're welcome to use the one, but make sure you have these formulas written down. For the double formula, that would be a 2, and it'd be time over d for double. Half-life's the exact same thing, except instead of 2, we put a half. Instead of doubling, it's halving, and we put h for half-life. This happens with things like uranium. Half-life means how many years until half of it's gone. So if something has a half-life of 40 years, and you start with 8 grams, after 40 years you'd have 4 grams. Then go another 80 years, you'd be down to 2 grams. So half-life is the number of years it takes for half of it to be gone. And some of the uraniums, the radioactive stuff, take thousands of years. That's the major problem with nuclear power plants, is what to do with the leftover uranium. I know some things disappear real quick. Sometimes in the lab they'll do an experiment and something will be created and the half-life might be like 2 seconds. And pretty soon it's all gone. All right, so this is our formula. So let's make up a problem. We're going to start with 80 grams of something. The half-life is 2,000 years. How much will there be left after 50 years? So you always put what you start with, what you end. We're starting with 80 grams, and we don't know what we're ending with. And it's a half-life, and the time of the experiment is going to be 50 years over the half-life of 2,000 years. So do that on your calculator. 80, parentheses, a half, raised to the 50 divided by 2,000, or make it a fraction. It's easier to go 50 divided by 2,000. And your answer should be 78.6. .6 grams. So we went from 80 grams down to 79. We went down a little bit. Now in the book, they'll put a 2 here, they'll put a 2 here, and they'll put a negative up there. And they use different letters. You can use those formulas, but it's the same formula. If you put a negative, then you have to flip this and make it a 2. That's what they use. But they might have different letters here. But it's basically the same thing. So in a minute, I'll be doing one of the problems out of the book. This is in 7.5.